When you take a 5G core, there are different networking elements within a 5G core that have different networking functions to perform. So let's look at what are the main networking elements in a 5G core. So SMF is one of the networking elements in a 5G core. SMF stands for Session Management Function. So as the name suggests, one of the main function of the SMF is for managing the sessions for the UEs and also selecting a UPF for the UE and also assigning an IP address for the UE, right? So if you compare this with the 4G EPC network, this function was basically split. The session management and the uh, S gateway allocation was mainly the function of MME, and the IP address allocation was the function of P gateway, right? But this was combined in the 5G core, and these functions are part of the SMF networking elements. AUSF is another networking element in a 5G core. AUF stands for Authentication Server Function. The main function of an AUSF is to obtain the authentication vector from the UDM. So it's also one of the function of HSS in a 4G core. So that function has been assigned to AUSF. NSSF is basically used for networking slicing and is responsible for allocating a network slice for a particular UE. So there are basically three types of network slicing as we told in the earlier sessions. So one of them will be allocated to the UE, and NSS responsibility is to allocate the networking slice to that UE appropriately. You have AMF, which stands for Access and Mobility Management Function. This is basically responsible for the mobility of UE between different G node B and also the registration and deregistration of UEs. UPF is basically the data plane. So it's basically routes the packet towards the other environment, the external environments, and also is responsible for maintaining the PDU sessions and also applying the policies and charging functions. NEF is basically is known as networking exposure function and is responsible for third-party connection, mainly used in a MEC use case, right? MEC stands for multi-access edge computing. NRF is basically the networking elements or the networking repository functions. As you know, this is a service-based architecture, and all the elements, the networking elements in a 5G core first need to register with the NRF to talk to the other networking elements, right? And UDM is basically doing the same role as HSS in a 4G environment, where it maintains the user profiles, right? The subscriber profiles. So these are the main components of a 5G core.